We argued over the water, and I realized the flood is also inside us. Another day has passed, and the situation is getting worse. The silence inside the ark is more suffocating than ever. The food is gone, and we're running out of water. We're all struggling, but no one dares to speak too much about it. The fear is too real. The uncertainty is too heavy. Everyone is feeling it, and I can see it in their eyes. We're not just afraid of what's outside the ark, but what's growing inside of us. Shem asked me again today when the flood would end, and once again, I couldn't answer. I don't know how to explain to my children that we might never see the land again, that we might never feel the sun on our skin, that we're just stuck here, floating in an endless sea, waiting for something that we don't even know is coming. Nama and I had another argument today. It was about the water. I was trying to calm her down, but the truth is, I don't know what to do anymore. The water is running out, and she's right. We need to save what's left. But how can I stand by and watch our children suffer? How can I look at their faces and not give them what they need, even when we don't have enough? If you're following along and want to see what happens inside the ark, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Your support gives me strength to continue, even when it feels like the silence is swallowing us. The argument with Nama left me feeling more lost than ever. We're all trying to keep it together, but the pressure is starting to show. The silence is taking over, and it's as if we're all being eaten alive from the inside. I know she's scared. I'm scared too. We've been here for what feels like forever, with no way out. The flood hasn't stopped. The water is still rising outside, but inside the ark, it's like we're drowning in our own fears. I decided to go check on the animals again, hoping that something would give me a sense of normalcy. But even the animals are starting to feel the pressure. The goats are quieter than usual, the horses are restless, and the lions are pacing back and forth in their cages. They can't be calm when we're not calm. And it's clear that they feel the same fear we do. Something is wrong inside this ark. The silence is not just affecting us, it's affecting everything in here. I checked the water supply again. There's barely any left. The small amount of water that remains isn't enough for all of us. I don't know how long we can stretch it out. We've been rationing everything, but we're running out of time. Later, when I went back to the living area, I saw that Nama was talking to the children. She was trying to keep their spirits up, but I could tell she was struggling. Shem, Jaff, and Cam were sitting on the floor, quietly staring at her. They were scared. They knew what was happening. They knew the situation was bad, but they didn't know how bad. And Nama was trying to reassure them, but she didn't have the answers either. None of us did. I sat down beside her, and she looked at me with the same worried expression she's had for days. We're both trying to stay strong, but I can feel it. We're both breaking inside. We're both scared. Nama, what are we going to do? I asked her, finally breaking the silence that had been growing between us. I can't keep doing this. I don't know how much longer we can last like this. She didn't answer at first. She just looked at me, then at the kids. She sighed and put her head in her hands. I knew she felt the same way. We've been holding on, but we're both running out of strength. The fear is getting to us. The day went by slowly, as all the days have in the ark. I feel like time is standing still. The water is still rising outside, but we have no way of knowing how much longer it will last. The flood has already changed everything. It's changed the way we live, the way we think, the way we feel. We're no longer just trying to survive the flood. We're surviving each other. By evening, the silence inside the ark had become unbearable. No one was speaking anymore. Nama was sitting with the children, and I could see that they were all becoming more withdrawn, more distant. The longer this goes on, the more it feels like we're losing each other. The fear is taking us over. It's taking us all. I decided to go outside to the edge of the ark, to try and get some fresh air. But there is no air out there. Just water. Endless water. I looked out into the vast ocean, hoping for a sign, hoping to see something that would tell me we weren't completely alone, that there was something out there. But there was nothing. Only the rain, only the water, and the darkness. When I turned to go back inside, I saw something. A shadow. A small movement in the corner of my eye. I stopped dead in my tracks and looked. but there was nothing there. No one. Just the silence. I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me, but it felt real. Something is moving in here. Something we can't see. Something that's waiting for us. The silence inside the ark is overwhelming now. It feels like it's pressing against me, against all of us. The flood outside is still going. The rain keeps pouring, and the waves keep crashing, but it's what's happening inside the ark that's starting to feel unbearable. The fear is not just of what we're running out of, but of what's growing inside of us. We're trapped in this endless space, and I can feel it slowly, but surely the flood is becoming something more than just the storm outside. It's inside us too. I woke up today, and everything felt off. The air inside the ark felt heavier than it did before. I tried to ignore it, but the weight was growing stronger every minute. The silence is no longer just an absence of sound. It's a force. It's something we're all battling inside our minds, inside our hearts. And I can see it in my family. Nama, the kids, even the animals, they're all feeling it. We can't escape it. And I don't know how much longer we can last. I went to check on the animals again. The goats, the horses, the lions, they're all there. But they're not the same. They're not moving around as usual. They're sitting in their pens, eyes wide open, staring at nothing. No sound, not even a stir. It's like they've stopped living, like they've given up on the world outside, just like we have. I walked through the ark, checking the water supply. The barrels are nearly empty. I have no idea how much longer we can stretch the little water we have left. I've tried rationing it as best as I can, but it's not enough. And with the food long gone, I feel like we're running out of time. I don't know how we're supposed to survive without these basic needs being met. And yet, here we are. Nama and I spoke today, but it wasn't much of a conversation. We're both too tired to argue anymore. Too worn down by the days that are dragging on. The children are quieter than usual, and I can see that fear is starting to take hold of them. It's taking hold of me too. The longer we're stuck in this ark, the harder it is to hold on to hope. We're losing hope. We're all starting to realize it. I don't know what to tell them anymore. I can't tell them everything will be okay when I don't know that myself. I can't promise that the flood will stop, that we'll find land again, that things will return to how they were. Because deep down, I'm not sure if they ever will. The kids, especially Shem, keep asking me when it will end. They want to know when they'll be able to leave this ark and step back on solid ground. I try to tell them that we have to wait, that we don't know how long it will take, but they don't understand. They're just children. They shouldn't have to deal with this. If you're reading this and want to find out what happens next, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Your support helps me keep going, even when it feels like we're all trapped in the flood. As I was walking through the ark, trying to keep busy and distract myself from the growing anxiety, I noticed something strange. The shadows in the ark were starting to feel different. At first, I thought it was just the dim lighting or my mind playing tricks on me, but the longer I stood still, the more I could feel it. There was something moving in the dark, not just the animals, but something else, something I couldn't see. It wasn't like the usual noises. I'd hear the creaking of the wood, the rustling of the animals, or the sounds of the water outside. It was different, a faint sound, like something scraping against the wood. It was too faint to identify, but it was there, just at the edge of my hearing. I turned to look, but there was nothing, just the shadows, moving along the walls. I felt my heart start to race. I knew something was off. I could feel it in my gut. But what could I do? There was nothing to investigate. No way to know what was really happening. We were all stuck in here, waiting for something to change, but it didn't feel like anything was changing. It felt like we were stuck in a loop. Later that day, Nama came to me with worry in her eyes. She was more quiet than usual, and I could see that the fear was starting to take its toll on her too. She asked me if I'd heard anything strange, if I'd felt something was different. I didn't tell her about the sounds. I didn't want to worry her, but I knew she felt it too. We're all feeling the same thing. The flood is not just outside of us. It's inside of us. It's in our hearts, in our minds, in the way we look at each other, in the way we're beginning to change. The fear is turning us into something we're not. It's breaking us apart. I looked out at the endless ocean from the window of the ark. The rain still hadn't stopped, The flood was still here, but I couldn't see the end. I couldn't see where it stopped, and I couldn't see where we were going. Another day, and the silence is worse than ever. The ark feels smaller now, even though it's the same size. It feels like we're all trapped in a space that's closing in on us, and the fear of running out of food and water is starting to eat away at us. It's not just the hunger or thirst anymore, it's the constant dread of what's next. The unknown is becoming harder to ignore. I woke up this morning with a pit in my stomach. I hadn't slept well. I kept hearing noises in the dark, soft scraping sounds, as if something was moving around the ark. But when I looked, there was nothing there. Just the animals, still and quiet, and the endless water outside. But the silence inside, that's what's getting to me. It's like we're all suffocating in it. Nama and I haven't spoken much lately. We've both been too tired. We've both been too scared to say anything real. The tension is growing. The water is running low. And every time I look at the kids, I feel like I'm failing them. I can't protect them from this. I can't protect anyone. I went to check on the animals again. They're still not eating. The goats, the lions, the horses, they're all just sitting there, staring at nothing. I can't even tell if they're alive or just waiting for something to happen. I don't know if they're sensing the same things we are, but it feels like everything is out of our control now. We're all waiting for something, but none of us knows what. As the day dragged on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. I'd hear those soft sounds again, like footsteps in the dark, but when I looked, I saw nothing. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling grew stronger. It was like something was moving in the shadows, something that wasn't visible but was still there, watching, waiting. I went back to Nama, and she was sitting by the children. She looked up at me when I walked in, but she didn't say anything. She didn't need to. I could see it in her eyes. She was scared, just like I was. We're all scared. This whole situation is breaking us down, and I don't know how much longer we can take it. The kids are quieter than usual. Shem, Jaff, and Cam have all stopped asking questions. They're just sitting there, staring at the walls, the floor, wherever their eyes happen to land. They're not talking. They're not laughing. They're just waiting. I know they're scared too. I can feel it. Shem, the oldest, looked at me and asked in a voice barely above a whisper, "Dad, when will this end? Why is it taking so long?" I didn't know how to answer him. How could I? I want to tell him that everything will be okay. I want to promise him that we'll see the land again, that we'll be safe, but I can't. I don't know what's coming. I don't know if the flood will ever end. All I can do is look at my son and tell him that we have to keep waiting. We have to keep going, but I don't know how long we can keep doing that. As the day came to a close, I couldn't escape the feeling that something was wrong. There's a strange energy in the ark now. It's not just the fear of the unknown. It's like something else isn't here with us. Something that's been here all along, waiting, watching. I can feel it, but I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. I checked the animals again. They were still in their pens, still silent. The horses were just standing there, not moving. The goats weren't eating. The lions were pacing, but they weren't roaring. Everything was still. It was like the ark had become a tomb, a place where everything was waiting to die. I walked back to the living quarters, but I couldn't stop looking over my shoulder. It felt like something was there, just behind me. I turned quickly, but there was nothing. Just the shadows. When I returned to Nama and the children, I could tell that they were feeling the same thing. They didn't say anything, but I could see the fear in their eyes. We're all waiting for something, but we don't know what. We're all scared. We're all hoping for something to change, but nothing does. It's the same day over and over, and every day feels heavier than the last. If you want to know what happens next and what's really going on inside the ark, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Your support means everything right now. Later that night, I went to the back of the ark again. I needed to get away from everyone for a while. I needed some space to think. But as I walked through the corridors, I felt that same presence again. Something was following me. Something was in here with us. And it wasn't just my mind playing tricks on me. I could feel it. It was real. I turned quickly, but once again, there was nothing. No one. Just the dark corridors and the shadows. But I knew I wasn't imagining it. There's something in here. I don't know what it is, but it's real. It's here with us, and I don't know how to make it stop. I went back to Nama and the children, but I didn't tell them what I felt. I didn't want to scare them more than they already were. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the flood is not just outside of us. It's inside. It's in our minds. It's in our hearts. And it's consuming all of us.